away from the home opener. Connor McDavid will speak to the media. I imagine there's going to be a large reaction when he's introduced tomorrow night at Rogers. Then it's game on. NHL season. Remember the last 2 opening nights? Let's hope the Oilers can show up and win the game against the godless Flames. Plus, Jays can end the Yankees in the house that Ruth built tonight. The Lowdown brought to you by Wolf GMC Buick. Employee pricing continues on the entire lineup of 2025 Sierra trucks. Details at wolfgmcbuick.com. We are live on YouTube and Sports 1440. Also, sports1440.ca, iHeartRadio, and Radio Player Canada. After the show, Apple and Spotify podcast. We tweeted out on X. We're on Twitter at Lowetide, at Declan Krueger, at JFenwick04, at SamW1440, although he's having his braces taken off today. So the intro I wrote for him, I can't use. 11 seconds I won't get back. It's okay. You can text or call us at 833-401-1440, 833-401-1440. Daniel Nugent-Bowman is our feature guest today at 1:20 from The Athletic. Going to talk about what a crazy day it was yesterday and not out today as well. Wild in the streets if you're media following these Edmonton Oilers. And now, ladies and gentlemen, it's time for the introductions. He will be shocked to find out I watched a Brad Pitt movie last night and enjoyed it. Ladies and gentlemen, it's Josh Fenwick. Josh Fenwick, everybody.
What did you watch?
World War Z.
Oh, that's not bad.
It was very good. I like for that kind of movie. I thought it was excellent. And it's the perfect movie for him.
That's enough.
It's like no really important lines.
He's the main character. Of course he has the important lines.
Nice eye candy, But what's the biggest line he gives? Boy, those guys look tough. Stuff like that, He's getting thrown around by mutants.
You're comparing him to like Sylvester Stallone dialogue right now from Cobra.
I have no quarrel with that. All right, moving on. Our next individual to introduce. He's enjoying his best life, and today might be a highlight because the Yankees could be swept away by a bunch of little old Blue Jays. It's Donovan Paulson. Donovan Paulson, everybody.
I've been waiting all year, Todd.
Man, I'm telling you, this is awesome.
All year to call the Yankees
frauds, and oh boy, are they frauds.
You know what? I'll say this: if you're the Boston Red Sox, you understand you blew a chance because they're not all that. The Yankees are not all that.
They are not even close to all that. Their batting average with runners in scoring position, hell, runners on base. They've now stranded basically 1 million runners on base. They are not a good baseball team whatsoever. Buck Martinez, salute to you, sir. You were right.
Yeah, all along. And nobody can complain about that at all. All right. He likes making lists, ranking things, and prefers his oatmeal to stay in the container. And for some reason, he didn't tweet out the YouTube link, but that's okay. Ladies and gentlemen, it's Declan Krueger. Declan Krueger, everybody.
Wasn't sent to me. Out of my hands.
Who's supposed to send you the link? Is that Josh's job?
All right. It's not that hard to get a YouTube link. You just hold your thumb over it on your phone, and then it says copy link.
Whose responsibility is it, though?
It's technically not even mine. Brandon and Connor.
Technically not even mine. This sounds a lot like the kind
because
of trash
Brandon and Connor both get the YouTube link themselves, and Declan's like, I need you to send me that YouTube link, big dog.
See, I could accuse Declan of
who makes it?
Going all high hat on you.
Did you send Connor the YouTube link every day when you made the Gregor stream?
Yes.
No, you didn't. You know why? Because I watched you do
I
it.
sent him the StreamYard link.
Donovan, let me ask you something. Is Declan given the high hat here, or is Josh just letting us down?
I think Josh is just letting us down.
Yeah. That's what I thought.
And
too.
you know how we know that Donovan's right? Because you two never miss a chance to take a stab at me.
That's true.
So
I enjoy it.
Donovan's done it.
Right.
He's been there. He's been in both chairs. He knows.
But then again, it's kind of our fault because Josh has been half-assing it for a long time. So this should be expected.
It should be.
Right? I mean, this is just the way it works.
He is. I mean, he tries to get away with it from occasionally bringing in the Timmy's Donuts.
Sure.
And he tries to bribe everybody to get us on his side.
Right.
And now he's just Now he's walking out of the room.
Now he's huffy.
Now he's huffy and he's puffy and he's going to blow the house
Right.
down.
I thought he'd be upset about the Brad Pitt take, but no, it's even worse than that. So there
You
go.
just turned your mic off.
You
No,
did.
I actually didn't turn my mic off. I adjusted. I think there's something wrong with this portal.
Oh yeah, we had to have engineering.
Yeah,
in.
'cause
This is a crazy start to the show, by the way. It's 6 men, and all we've done is waffle.
now he's snorting something over there. What the hell
His
is
nose
going?
is bleeding.
Wouldn't it have been just easier to send the link?
I wonder.
All of this because you got a piano tied to your ass.
I
Oh my
wonder-
God!
I wonder how many listeners we've lost in the first 6 minutes.
Don't know.
'Cause it's
We
gotta
have
be
no
a
way
lot.
to tell because we can't track it on YouTube. All right, so let's go. Connor McDavid signs $12.5 million. I think this is a two-way thing. I think number one, Edmonton Oilers fans are thrilled. Management and ownership must be thrilled. 2-year deal, a shorter term. Do you think that this is last chance Texaco Donovan? They have to win in these 3 years or he's gone? Or do you think this is his way of saying, I'm going to give you these 2 years and then we're going to sign longer term?
I think this is his way of saying he doesn't want to trap himself into the Sidney Crosby thing, where you get yourself stuck on a team that is non-competitive, where you're just rotting away for the last 5 years of your career and you've had no chance to win whatsoever. I think this is his way of keeping the Oilers in check and saying that, listen, if we're still competitive come the end of my new 2-year deal, I'll sign another one and another one after that if we're still competitive. I don't think it's if you don't win the Stanley Cup, he's gone. I think it's just simply if you lose that competitiveness as a team, he's gone. That's how I view that deal.
Yeah. What about you, Declan? You feel the same way?
Yeah, I mean, we talked about it more yesterday. Like, to me, listen, the fact that this is such an incredible discount, like kind of an unheard of discount. Obviously, we know Sid took one, but he had won already. He won very early into his time in the league. Tom Brady took discounts. It does happen. McDavid hasn't won yet. He's not taking a hometown discount to keep winning. He's taking a hometown discount to try and win. And I really do think if he doesn't win in the next 3 years, he's going to kind of wipe his hands and say, I gave you guys a great 13 years. Appreciate everything you did for me, but it's time to go chase it somewhere else. And honestly, he will have earned that right. And I'll totally understand him doing it.
Yeah, I think this is, I called my blog post today, Last Chance Texaco, and I think it's 3 years, but I do agree with that take. Nose bleeding boy, do you have an opinion on the McDavid deal? Do you think it's kind of a Last Chance Texaco thing?
I'm in the same boat as Declan. As
Yeah. How's the nose?
Bleeding.
Or is that something that we have a problem with, like an issue with, or do you have a lot of nosebleeds?
I get them quite often.
Okay.
It's my cross to bear.
Well, we won't make fun of you because that's not a. I mean, it's not like it's like I faint at the sight of blood. So, you and I probably can't be in the same room together. You really are bleeding. I'm sorry that you're doing that. All right. NFL last night. Any thoughts on the game?
There's going to be a lot of talk I heard it on Fantasy Frenzy. Where does Trevor Lawrence rank in your QB rankings? I'm sorry. Even the blind squirrel finds the nut. And in this case, Trevor Lawrence is the blind squirrel. I still don't like Trevor Lawrence. I still don't think he's any good. I know he had a good performance, but he's not good. He's like,
I wouldn't call I agree that I think is overrated by a lot of people. And I think this is the season he needed to prove it. Otherwise he would lose the benefit of the doubt, but I'm not sure I would liken him to a blind squirrel. Like, I think he's a touch better than that.
Maybe he's a blind in one eye squirrel.
He's the one-eyed squirrel.
Well, listen, he was laying down on the ground for like 4 seconds yesterday on the last play. Like,
He was tired.
if one defender gets a hand on him, that counts as a sack and the game's over.
Wow.
Trevor Lawrence looked good, but if you're an NFL quarterback, I want you to look good sometimes. And Trevor Lawrence simply doesn't look good most nights for me. And the big story, I think, for me is the Kansas City Chiefs. What is going on?
Well, yeah.
Like, what is happening in Kansas City?
At the end of an era.
I think it is probably trending towards the end of an era. They just don't look the same.
Since Taylor Swift turned down the Super Bowl, things have gone into the dumper.
They are, Patrick Mahomes is trying to do everything in his power and they just don't have that same juice.
No. But the good thing is the Cincinnati Bengals are back on the good side now, rolling down the highway. They got themselves a real quarterback.
Joe Flacco, baby.
Now, did his offensive line improve in this trade? Like, he moves from one team to a next, but is it better?
His offensive line is substantially worse.
And it's not like it was great in Cleveland.
Some guys get traded and it's like, okay, he can win a Super Bowl here. Plunkett went from the Patriots to the Raiders. Flacco goes he can't even leave Cleveland. He doesn't even get to Pittsburgh.
What would we say, fellas? Would it be like, I don't know, sort of middle of the pack ish in Cleveland to, what do we think, third worst, second worst with the Bengals?
In terms of offensive
Yeah.
line?
I have the PFF grades right
Do
here.
you have the
All right,
PFF
let's
grades?
hear 'em.
All right, so the Cleveland Browns rank in PFF with a number 27 overall offensive
That
line.
sounds about right.
The Cincinnati Bengals have number 31.
Second last.
That sounds
The
even
Houston
more right.
Texans have the worst.
Okay.
All those numbers make sense.
By the way, I'm getting some text in here, so I will give them. These are via Tony Brar of the Edmonton Oilers, the lines and pairings. Just so you know, Ike Howard has not been recalled yet. He can't be recalled. I think Gregor said until 3:00 today. So the lines and pairings as of today: McDavid with Draisaitl and Frederick, Nuge with Mangiapane and Savoy. Filt will center the third line with Podkolzin and Kapanen. Henrique on the fourth line with Lazar and Tomasic. The pairings are Ekholm, Bouchard, Nurse, Regula, who really moved up the depth chart, Kulak with Emberson, Stetcher the extra, Skinner in net, Pickard the backup. Thoughts on that, any of you? Just throw it out.
I think Ike Howard is probably where he belongs at this point. Right?
Would you be surprised if they call him up later today?
I would be a little surprised. Yeah. Especially right with the whole bonuses thing, where they sent him down day one, and if they call him up now, he counts as a $1.6 million cap hit, right? With the bonuses.
Mm-hmm.
So if they were to call him up, then you're $1.6 million cap hit for the year, which if you're the Oilers, you don't want that, right? So I think that's a clear signal that Ike Howard have a good season in the AHL, and let's see where it goes.
Well, it would be interesting that if, for me, I think he improved certainly from the rookie game to the final game, but it's not the worst thing in the world if he plays down there in Bakersfield. And at some point in time, there will be injuries and an opportunity possibly to recall him. And we'll see. But my understanding is there will be a recall later. We'll wait and see on that. Edmonton Elks have signed, and this is a good one. Justin Rankin certainly is one of those I talked about the other day, playmakers on this team on offense and defense. You want to get those guys buttoned down for next year because next year is going to be vitally important. I mean, we can talk about this week, but, Declan, what's the percentage of making the playoffs? What percentage chance do you give the Edmonton Elks right now?
Oh, man, very low. There is certainly a path. We outlined it on Elks 101 yesterday, but I mean, we're sitting around to 12 to 15%. You got to basically win out, and you're going to need a lot of help in Calgary and Winnipeg losing out as well. Calgary gets to host Toronto, so it's not looking great. But I will say, Justin Rankin, team MOP this year, by far the most valuable piece offensively and the catalyst of the offense when things are flowing and his offensive line actually is actually able to go forward and initiate contact and blocking schemes like that. Leads the CFL in big plays. Fun fact that people probably didn't know. I don't know if they would have expected that out of an Elks running back. Those are rushes over 20 yards and receptions over 30 yards. He has 15 of those this year. So he's basically been good for one a game, electric factory. He's the best player on the offense, and that running backs get old fast, but he's only 28. The extension is more than deserved.
Do you think
and how kind of him to wait a day to not take shine away from McDavid.
That's so true.
That's how selfless he is.
I'm watching the Dodgers and the Phillies play last night. I thought the Phillies looked good with Luzardo. The bullpen butchered it, but so did the Dodgers bullpen. Just ghastly. I don't know how either of these guys are going to do against Milwaukee, but right now it looks like the Philadelphia Phillies are, well, we just talked about it with Kansas City. The bloom is off the rose, and this is an old team getting beaten by a team that's younger and better.
They're done.
Yeah.
It's Kyle Schwarber's a free agent. I would expect he returns. But man, when you have a bad bullpen,
Yeah.
it shows.
And Bryce Harper is not having good at bats.
Bryce Harper is falling off. He is slowly going down the mountain. He was at his peak probably a good 2 years ago.
Yeah.
And now it's the slow decline for Bryce Harper. I like that Phillies team, but you got to think at the hole that they're in, you're probably not coming out. They are. I picked them to win it all because I thought this is your last chance, as you said earlier, last chance Texaco.
Yeah.
This is really, for me, their last chance to win. And I know that they didn't have Zach Wheeler for this playoff run.
And the team that does play good defense and at every position, they've got a guy who's like 5'2" playing right field, which you always put your power bat out there in Frelick. The Milwaukee Brewers, once again, won last night. Their bullpen was sound. It was a tie game, and Chicago doesn't. The second base combination for the Cubs has made mistakes, both shortstop and second baseman during this series, and certainly during the postseason. Having guys who can run and are good gloves and good arms in the field is important. Milwaukee is a team that I know that they're going to win the World Series, but they're going to be tough for the Dodgers, and the Dodgers are basically an all-star team. Quickly, in the American League, this is a big day because the Detroit Tigers have a chance to against Seattle, very good team. That series is tied 1 apiece right now. And then on the other side, in the Bronx, the house that Ruth built, the Toronto Blue Jays, were this year, time last year, we were ripping them on the double. They have a chance to end the New York Yankees season, and the Yankees don't deserve to be here. They got too far into the year, courtesy of the Bo Sox. They're not a very good ball club.
They're not. And really, the difference in that series was the Jarren Duran drop fly ball from Aaron Judge, right? If that doesn't happen, if Jarren Duran doesn't drop that ball, who knows, right? The Bo Sox could have swept them. And now you're watching this Yankees team be historically bad with runners in scoring position, be historically bad at leaving runners on base. This best offense in baseball can't do anything.
No.
The only reason they even scored 7 runs last game was because the Jays went to their, let's just get through this relievers. Yeah. You have such a big lead where you go, who cares? Let's just throw these guys some innings.
Yeah, get them some innings.
Let's just, let's get this game over with. And the funniest thing that I'm seeing right now in regards to this series and even the Brewers one is all this, the Blue Jays are cheating. What?
Yeah.
You're saying they're cheating just because your team stinks and you're getting pumped?
Yeah, I didn't understand that either. That was pretty well. Did we send out the feed at all, or are we not doing that today?
Oh, we're live on YouTube.
Okay, but did we tweet it out? Or I'll tweet it out.
I'll tweet it out.
Here it is. The
more reach if you do it. But
the YouTube feed. I can't spell, so this is not going well. But
could have been avoided.
Well, maybe we could have a meeting after the show for an hour or two and talk about how it's supposed to go. I mean, that's what they used to do to us back in the olden days, and I thought it was a bad idea. Well, maybe not. All right, Daniel Nugent-Bowman from The Athletic on the way at 1:20. We'll have declinations. What are you serving up today there, sir?
Well, it's Tuesday.
So, all right, don't tease me.
Hi, my name is. But listen, please, if anyone wants to send in a player, Declan at sports1440.ca. Honestly, I'll use anybody. So any player,
all you losers,
any player, 7 clues, send that my way. It's greatly appreciated as always.
If you've been sending in stuff that I just carved and never use and hate, well, today maybe I'll use it. It's all straight ahead. All right, rumors just ahead. Lowdown with Lowetide on Sports 1440.
Listen up, because you're not going to want to miss this. Right now is your chance to get in on Play Alberta's biggest offer ever. For a limited time only, new players can get up to a $1,000 casino bonus when they sign up.
Single, made with a quarter pound of fresh, never frozen Canadian beef. All for just $4 at participating Wendy's. Taxes extra. But hurry, this deal ends October 26th.
Here's the Lowdown with Lowetide on Sports 1440.
Presented by Wolf GMC Buick. We're making it easy. WolfGMCBuick.com.
Lowdown with Lowetide on Sports 1440 for Wolf GMC Buick. Family owned and community driven. We're making it easy. Visit wolfgmcbuick.com. Nice, depressing Twang Tuesday song for the New York Yankees. they got real pain. They can't play. Judge can't throw. He should not be in the field.
Judge, I mean, you said it. We said it earlier in the year, right? When you saw that Judge had that arm injury, that was immediately Judge should be the DH. But then you have Giancarlo Stanton.
Yeah. And
he is physically incapable of playing any position on a baseball field because that guy can't move.
Yeah. And Boone comes out and says, well, Buck isn't right. We'll play it on the field. Buck is right. They can't field. They can't run. They're bad.
They are bad. All they can do is hit home runs. And when you eliminate the home run ball, when you're throwing splitter after splitter after splitter, they can't touch it. Trey Savage was literally telling them, he was tipping his pitches, and they still couldn't hit it.
No, that's a hell of a pitch, though.
And people want to talk about the Jays cheating. Ron, this has 2017 Astros written all over it. Look at their home and away splits. 54 and 27 at home, 40 and 41 on the road.
That's not crazy. The road number is pretty damn good. And the home one is a strong team, no doubt. But historically speaking, that does get hit every year.
That is for the Jays.
Yeah.
Okay. So what are the Philadelphia Phillies cheating? The Philadelphia Phillies record at home is 55 and 26.
Right.
And then they're 41 and 40 on the road.
Yeah.
The Jays OPS at home is 788. It's 734 on the road. The Phillies are even more drastic. They have 812 versus 707 on the road.
No.
So what? Are the Phillies cheating? I don't think Dodgers fans are accusing the Philadelphia Phillies of cheating despite their home and away splits. Welcome to baseball.
If you want to, accuse a team of cheating, you need to isolate the sounds of trash cans hammering in the background and bells going off. That's the best way to do it. All right, it's time for Rumors, brought to you by Great Canadian Solar. Great Canadian Solar has been helping homeowners and businesses harness the power of the sun for 15 years. Invest in solar and yourself. GreatCanadianSolar.com. I mentioned this earlier, but the lines and pairings go like this. It is Sands, Ike Howard, who may be called back later today. McDavid with Draisaitl and Frederick. Nuge with Mangiapane and Savoy. Philp with Podkolzin and Kapanen. Henrique with Lazar and Tomasek. Pairings Ekholm, Bouchard, Nurse Regula, Kulak, Emberson, Skinner starts. The tweak here, well, two. Number one, Howard is out. Number two of this lineup, Savoy moving up to the second line with Nuge and Mangiapane. Two questions for you, Donovan. Number one, do you like Savoy moving up? Number two, do you like Mangiapane as the other winger on that line with Nuge?
I love Savoy moving up. I think that is the clear and obvious. That's what I would be looking for. Is I want to see Matt Savoy on a skill line in a position to produce offensively. The only problem I have with this line is they are all small and they are all smaller in stature. They don't have that weight to them. That's a line that could get pushed around, quite frankly.
But you hate Podkolzin, so
I don't hate
him.
Podkolzin.
You dislike him wildly.
The curious thing for me when I look at this is like how is the deployment going to look? Because I do think David Tomasic, like you want to see him in some kind of, like, I guess he's going to be functioning as the 3C alongside Henrique and Lazar, but you look at like Podkolzin, Philp, and Kapanen, and I guess that's your fourth line, but everybody seems to have that listed as their third line. I don't know how they're going to deploy everything, but
I have some news on that. 50 seconds ago, Jason Gregor, Howard will play tomorrow night.
Oh.
Sounds like his line will be Henrique in the middle with Howard and Tomasek. Knobloch felt it would be better having Henrique in the middle with lefty and righties. And so that means that based on the previous lines that we'd been looking at, when we had Tomasek in the middle with Henrique and Lazar would draw out. Philp still centering his line, Henrique centering a line with Howard and Tomasek. So I like that group, actually. I just don't know which, as you said, astutely, I don't know which the third line is.
I still think Ike Howard's not ready. We'll see. I guess it's a matter of time. He's gonna have the runway here.
Just so you know, I said at the beginning of the whole process, in these things, look at the general manager. Did he bring in Ike Howard?
Yeah, you're right.
Did Peter Chiarelli bring in Jesse Puljujarvi? He wasn't ready. Brought him in anyway. Griffin Reinhart was traded for. He made the team. They had Darnell Nurse. They had Oscar Kleppbaum. They brought in Griffin Reinhart. He didn't last long. Puljujarvi didn't either. If Howard's not ready, he'll be back in Bakersfield. But when the GM makes a trade for a big trade for a young player or moves a mountain to get Puljujarvi into the lineup, the die is cast. You're not going to move off of that until he gets his chance.
With Howard being in the lineup, I think that is probably the best deployment you could ask for.
Yeah.
With Henrique and Tomasek. I think that's putting him in a position to succeed. In terms of him playing in the NHL, like that's where you want to probably see him. I'm gonna focus back on that second line for a minute. Like Andrew Mangiapane, I like the positioning of him. I think for this current iteration of the Oilers without Zach Hyman, I think Mangiapane needs to be up there. But I just don't know if that's the right line combination for, especially going up against the Flames team, right? Like
the Flames are going to play hard, and they're a good team, right?
They
have
are
really good goaltending. This isn't and the Oilers don't traditionally play well opening night. Some of these cats really have not played a lot, not to point fingers at anybody, but Stuart Skinner, when's the last time he played a game of hockey? It's been a while.
Yep.
So we'll see. I don't know if I have confirmed this, but I'm going to say it like it is confirmed. Shane LaChance, who was drafted by the Edmonton Oilers in 2021, in the 6th round and was traded as part of the Trent Frederick deal, appears to have made the New Jersey Devils roster at a very young 22. Now, he's a big guy, 6'4", 195. Sometimes with these college kids, signability is an issue, but that's an interesting move made by New Jersey, and good on the young man, Shane LaChance, making it to the NHL, if in fact that's true.
Good for him. I'm sure Oilers fans are going to be salty, similarly to the you want to look back at like Michael Kesselring or John Marino. The reality of Shane LaChance is he wasn't signing here.
Yeah. Also, the Oilers can't afford to have 3 forwards who are rookies. So
also that.
Yeah. It's stack them and rack them, and you're going to add. This is part of trying to win a Stanley Cup. You'll be into prospect mode when the Oilers don't have McDavid and Draisaitl and Bouchard at their peak. That's the bottom line. Alex Pietrangelo will not play in 25-26. That's regular season and playoffs. Golden Knights improved their cap situation, which they needed to do. But that's the latest on that. Noah Gregor, by the way, has signed a 2-way deal with the Florida Panthers. What does that do to the official team of this radio station? Are we moving off of the Oilers at all towards the Panthers?
No, I just view Noah Gregor as a traitor now.
Oh man, you know what? I think I saw him fight the other night, and he did pretty well. So I haven't had a chance. Has anybody had a chance to look over the opening night rosters to see anything interesting? We just got them not long ago.
For me, the one that is shocking is the Chicago Blackhawks. I am shocked that Sam Rinzel made that team.
No.
I get it. You want to give younger guys a chance when you're that bad of a team. But if you're the Blackhawks, do you really want to throw a young guy who you just drafted, a young defenseman who you just drafted?
Well, the odds of him getting hurt are high.
Right into the fire, and you're playing him with Matt Grzelcyk, is what it looks like. I'm sorry, is that the best course of action with an 18-year-old defenseman who's going into his first NHL season? I don't like that one bit for Rinzel and his development.
Josh, do you like Devin Cooley as the backup in Calgary, or does it matter to you?
I don't like any backup in Calgary, quite frankly. I didn't even really like Dan Vladar last season. I thought he was very wishy-washy. We played a full preseason game against the Canucks, last one, so it was like full squads, basically. We had our entire team. We let in 8 goals, 5 from one goalie and 3 from another. So my backup goalie situation is less than heartwarming.
One thing I want to pass along to our listeners, because I think it is important. I try to give you a heads up when one of the voices that you hear on this show will go off on one particular team or player or position or set of players in a position. Prepare for Donovan to rail against the Detroit Red Wings defense again this year. They are somewhat the same, but they've added, I think, Travis Hamonic and Eric Gustafsson. So I don't know if you've had a chance to look at them, but they're quite the group. They truly are.
Yes, I'm looking at them right now. And sorry, I said Sam Rinzel 18. He's 21.
Right.
That is he's rookie season. It's either way, like that's a bad situation for Sam Rinzel to go into. But the Detroit Red Wings, they're in a spot once again where they're not a playoff team. I'm sorry for anybody who's a Detroit Red Wings fan. They're just not. You're going to see Sandy and Pellica, who really high prospect, should be pretty good in the NHL eventually. We'll see. But they totally missed the memo again.
No, they're bad.
They are.
Even when they get a good guy like Jake Wallman, they can't wait to give him away.
I don't understand the thought process for the Detroit Red Wings pretty much every offseason.
They are exactly like the Oilers were a decade ago. We've got a good player. We have to get rid of Jeff Petrie so we can have Nikita Nikitin.
I don't think they're that bad, but they are stuck in that mushy middle every single year. And you're not going to get out of the mushy middle with signing guys like Travis Hamonic. Like Ben Sherratt is not a good defenseman. Ben Sherratt playing with Mo Seider.
So you say.
Has been a bad pairing since they first got put together.
Yeah.
And you're still watching Mo Seider trot out there with Ben Sherratt. And you've watched Mo Seider's, the point production hasn't evolved with Ben Sherratt. His defensive play, I would argue, hasn't evolved with Ben Sherratt. For me, all that they've done in Detroit on their back end is stunt the growth of their young players.
No. Before we take a break, very quickly, Declan, please explain Justin Rankin and why it's important to sign him now for the next 2 years with a vision towards the future.
Yeah, I mean, I think the biggest reason is he is the catalyst of the offense. And with all respect to Cody Fajardo, who has come in and really turned this team around this season in terms of wins, Cody struggles a lot with the deep ball. He's not old by any stretch of the imagination, but he's not exactly a young up-and-comer. Trey probably isn't the answer. And you don't really have any receivers who are bona fide number one, pencil them in for 10 catches, 120 yards in the touchdown each game guy. The guy who the offense runs through is Justin Rankin. And I think when there's instability at other positions, you want to have a player like that who can be such a bell cow locked up.
What is your look today? What are you trying for today? I'm looking at you on the YouTube thing.
It's a little maybe Saturday detention casual wear.
Right. I thought maybe you were auditioning for Cats.
That reference that falls flat for me. But
okay, Thank you.
I'm really tired, so I'm doing kind of the snoozy snuggle up look.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I get
it's kind of. I think it's hot in this room, though.
I think you might be coming down with something.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah. It's actually quite pleasant in this room compared to yesterday when it was really, really hot.
It was really warm yesterday, yeah. So that shows how much I know. But yeah, no.
Since I've started
cozy,
yeah,
snuggly look.
Since I've started working in this building, I feel as though I'm going through the change of life again. But you know, it's up and down temperature-wise a little.
Your life has changed since you started working in this building.
It has. It's gotten better and better and better because I work with you, my friend.
I was talking about you getting married, but I do appreciate that.
Yeah.
I would think that was a little more impactful on your life. But if I've been the number one, hey man, appreciate it.
You're ever thought to yourself, I've never seen a man bleeding out live on YouTube? You're wrong. You saw me do that just now. All right, we're going to take a break. I'm going to try to recover. Lowdown with Lowetide on Sports 1440 and YouTube.
Experience more at the Edmonton Expo Center. Come for Canada's largest trade show, the biggest names in entertainment, exhilarating sporting events, and more. Stay for the experience, but it doesn't end there. Maximize your brand exposure with Edmonton.
$9 or more. Plus, buy any TV or appliance and get a $50 credit to spend on furniture, decor, or mattresses. And take 5 years, pay with 0 interest on your Flexity card. OAC terms and conditions apply. See in-store for details and exclusions. The Brick, saving you more.
Edmonton's only 24-hour-a-day sports radio station. Can be heard anytime, anywhere. Sports 1440 is streaming on your phone, your tablet, your computer. Download an app today and listen to Sports 1440.
Seriously, another door knocker? I really want to go solar, but these high-pressure tactics are exhausting.
And their prices are unbelievable. Before we do anything, let's call Great Canadian Solar.
There's a better way to go solar. Great Canadian Solar provides honest advice and fair pricing to save you from overpaying. They're easy to deal with and will never put pressure on you to buy. As a trusted local business for over 15 years, Great Canadian Solar will support you in your solar journey. Visit greatcanadiansolar.com and call today to get started.
Whoa, who turned off all the lights?
Experience the new charcoal menu at Booster Juice.
Charcoal menu?
Introducing the Eclipse Smoothie, Blackout Booster Mixer, and Midnight Booster Ball.
Where's that voice coming from?
Dark and delicious, made with activated charcoal.
Can we please turn the lights back on?
Sorry, I'm just excited about the new charcoal menu.
Wow, that is good.
Right? Available now, only at Booster Juice.
Bringing every project to life requires the right team. By joining the Japa Machinery Group service or sales teams, you can be part of setting a new industry standard. Celebrating a legacy of excellence with Japa. Learn more at japamachinery.com.
Here's the Lowdown with Lowetide on Sports 1440.
Presented by Wolf GMC Buick. We're making it easy. WolfGMCBuick.com.
Lowetide on Twang Tuesday. Loving the Wayland sound there. We're here for Wolf GMC Buick, family owned and community driven. We're making it easy. Visit WolfGMCBuick.com. Okay, we're going to do a little bit of NHL predictions. We're going to go by conference. You don't have to do it in order, but you can if you want. Your 8 playoff teams in each conference, beginning with the Western Conference, and I'm going to start with you, Donovan.
Obviously, the Oilers,
yes,
are making the playoffs.
Right.
The Vegas Golden Knights are making the playoffs.
Yes.
I have the LA Kings because I know I didn't like their offseason, but I still think they're good enough to be that third spot in the Pacific.
Definitely defensible.
I think that they're going to be viable. And then I look over to the Central and I'm thinking for myself, Avs, Stars for sure. Those are my 2 locks. I still think the Jets are going to be in there. And then I have Wild, and I'm going to surprise with the Utah Mammoth.
I'm not surprised by that, but I'm pleased to see you say it. I thought somebody would. I didn't realize it would be that quickly. So 3 in the Pacific, 5 out of the Central, and I think that's fair too.
5 out of the Central for me, but I look at the teams out west, and I think there's only really 2 awful teams, and that is the Blackhawks and the Sharks.
Right.
They're still the 2 worst teams in the league for me, but I think everyone else, you can make a strong argument that they could potentially make the playoffs this year.
That includes the Flames and the Canucks and the Anaheim Ducks.
Like, I think the Ducks are probably the 3rd worst out of that group, but if everything goes right in Anaheim, there's a world where they could potentially squeak in there. And I like the Blues' chances to come back to the playoffs again like they did last year. I like the Flames as a team a lot. I don't believe in the Canucks personally. Like, I think they're the clear and obvious 4th worst team. The Kraken aren't very good either, but like that Canucks center depth scares me with Phil Peedle.
No.
Because he's always hurt with those concussions. I like him as a player, but they scare me. But it's wide open for the most part.
Declan, your 8 teams out of the Western Conference for the playoffs.
Yeah, so in the Pacific, I have the Oil, the Knights, and I have the Kings as well, very similar to Donovan. In the West, I have the Avs, the Jets, and the Stars. And then I've wrestled with where my wildcard teams come from. I'm kind of debating between 3 teams for those last 2 spots. I honestly agree with Donovan. I think Utah is going to be one of them. I like what that Utah team's built. I think Utah is going to be a wild card team this year. My last spot, I think it's going to be between, like, I feel like the Wild are the best of the 3 teams I'm about to mention, between the Wild, the Blues, and the Flames. But I just think they're going to miss it, quite bluntly. Kirill's been a bit of a bandit. I just think they're going to find a way to fall out of it. I will say, on the back of Dustin Wolf and Ryan Huska, the Calgary Flames are the 2nd wild card team.
Interesting. Okay. So 4 and 4 for you. All right. I don't know which of you in that corner are going to give me a list of Western Conference playoff teams.
You keep writing up, Sam.
All right. Josh puts the verbal boots to poor Sam. By the way, did your teeth come out okay from your whatever you did?
That's right. Give me a smile, Sam. Oh, yeah. Look at that.
$1 million. $1 million.
Well, that's about as much as it costs to wear braces. So.
Looks like Bobby Sherman now at about 1971.
We're doing the Western Conference right now, right?
Yeah, that's
all right. Perfect. Avalanche, Stars, Jets, obviously, unless something horrible happens to Hallebuck. But last year of Kyle Connor, contract players, they're next level, man. I love them. Who gets that? Like, maybe the Mammoth. I think I'm going to go with Declan on this one. Wild missed the playoffs.
Okay.
Easy there. And then Pacific, Oil, Knights. And then I think it's a toss-up between that 3rd spot in the Pacific of who gets it, Ducks or Kings. I think the Kings got significantly worse in the offseason. The Los Angeles Oilers, basically, but all the old Oilers players. And then I'll give the wildcard spot to my Flames.
Okay.
Wait, did you choose the Ducks or the Kings?
I'll say Kings.
All right. Here's mine in the West. Oilers, Vegas, Kings make it out of the Pacific. And there's 5 teams that make it out of the Central, and they will be the Colorado Avalanche, Dallas Stars, Winnipeg Jets, Utah Mammoth, and St. Louis Blues.
Now, we all picked Utah.
Yeah.
Why? So you guys are all sleeping on the Minnesota Wild, huh?
No, I'm not sleeping on them. I just think that they're like, this is a team that's got, a lot going for it, but there's a lot around them right now. And I thought they would do more with the money when they finally got it.
I think the Wild are going to be better than the Jets.
Well, we'll see.
I think this Jets team scares the hell out of me.
There's a lot this is exactly like Winnipeg used to be, where they had lots of great players, but they couldn't sign them.
I'm looking at this team. Jonathan Taves coming back and immediately being your 2nd line center is scary to me.
But Winnipeg, they do a really good job in their minor league system, and they do have players. Lowry's hurt, right?
Yeah, Lowry's hurt.
They do have players who can slide in. So when they get something like, I think that they would have. They have something in mind, is what I believe, and they are pretty darn strong as it pertains to the minor league system. All right. Who's ready? Are you wanting to go first?
Yeah,
Eastern?
I'm ready to roll.
The 8 teams out of the Eastern Conference.
My East, I'll run through my Atlantic first. I think it's pretty obvious for the Atlantic. I have Lightning, Leafs, Panthers, of course. They're going to be in there. And then I have the Sens. And then my Metro is going to be Rangers, Devils, Hurricanes, Capitals. 4 and 4.
So you do have Hurricanes, sorry.
Yeah. I have the Habs falling out from last season.
Right. Any love for the Columbus Blue Jackets or Philadelphia Flyers from you?
No, not really. I think the Blue Jackets will be kind of similar to last year where they can't get a save to save their lives. And then the Flyers, I expect a Rick Tocchet coaching bump, but I don't expect it to be big enough to surpass any of those other teams.
Right. And the Islanders are...
They're done.
All right. Declan, your list from the East.
All right, my top 3 in the Atlantic. I have the Leafs, the Lightning, and the Senators. My top 3 from the Metro. I have the Canes, the Devils, and the Rangers. And my 2 wild card teams, the Columbus Blue Jackets, because I picked Dean Evison to win Coach of the Year. So I have Columbus.
I think that's not a bad choice.
And then I'm really wrestling here. I think if I have to go just based on logic, I'm going to go with the Florida Panthers as my second wildcard team. But I really think no Barkov, Kachuk on IR right now. Like, I do think they're going to take a significant step back. Now, they have a championship medal team. They'll probably still be in the playoffs. But I really wanted to give the Canadians that second wildcard spot. I'm not going to do it. I'll give it to the Panthers out of respect for what they've done the last 2 years. But I really wanted it to be the Canadians.
Yeah. All right. That corner over there featuring Bleeding Gums Fenwick.
Did you just make a Simpsons reference?
Yeah, I did. Yes, I did. I'm capable of that.
That's impressive. No wonder my dad and you get along. All right. From the Atlantic, I'll go Leafs, Lightning, Sens. From the Metro, Canes. Oh boy. Rangers, Devils. And then the 2 wild card spots. How interesting. I'll give it to the Capitals. And I'll give it to the I'll give it to the Panther. No, I'm going to give it to the Canadians. I'm going to go different than Declan because injuries. That being said, the Canadians had less points last season than the Flames, and they still made the playoffs.
There you go.
I'm a little upset about that.
No, you're completely over it. It's very obvious. For me, Metro is Carolina, New Jersey, New York Rangers, and I have 5 making it from the other division. They are Tampa Bay, Toronto, Florida, Montreal, and Ottawa.
I think Montreal was just such a magical run last year that I don't see it becoming that. I think they're just going to be that letdown team.
Could be. I mean, it's not like you'd like to make it 3 years in a row. When you've made the playoffs 3 years in a row and you have enough young players who can grow with the group, then you should be, if you manage the cap okay, you should be a consistent playoff team. They aren't there yet. And I really do like the Columbus Blue Jackets. I was pleased that Declan had included them because I want them to be good because they've had such bad luck.
The reality of things is they're probably going to miss. And last year where they were making that push and they were so close and it was such a storybook year and everything was kind of falling their way until it didn't at the very bitter end. That's probably going to be more of an outlier rather than the norm of what this season can become. But I'll put my faith in, I'll put my trust in Dean Evison. I'll say he can get it done. I'll say they have just enough in there. Because here's the other thing. Like, I think the East is really weak. I don't think there's like the Atlantic is going to have really good regular season teams. I think the Hurricanes are getting out of the East in the playoffs, and I can't imagine that Hurricanes team winning a Stanley Cup. So that should say how I feel about the East. And on the back of that, I think the Blue Jackets make the playoffs.
I'm right with you, Deck. I think the East is extremely weak, and I could see the Blue Jackets making it. They just need to get that goaltending, unlike last season, because they could score. They have a lot of talent up front, but I'm terrified for what's going on between the crease and Columbus. But the one team, you're not going to like this, Al. I think the Boston Bruins are going to be one of the worst 3 teams in the league.
Look, it hurts me to I can't deny it. I think it was Elliot Friedman on his written 32 thoughts that said he would, he could see them making the playoffs. And I love Elliot and I love the Bruins, but I do not see it. I think this is exactly the kind of team in transition that is a seller before the deadline. And I love the Bruins. I love the Bruins since Orr, but I just don't see they too much of the heart of this team is gone now.
That roster, it's shocking. Like when you look at that roster on paper, that old Bruins, it's gone. Yeah. There is nothing left. Like you look at that and it is basically, it's a horrible defensive player on every line. Like Casey,
you've got McAvoy.
You have Charlie McAvoy still. You have David Pasternak. Those are your highlights.
Pasta is going to have 112 points and be dash 42.
They have a bottom 9.
It all worked out wrong for them. They should have made a trade for Morgan Frost, because do me a favor, tell me the name of the Boston Bruins forwards who are going to emerge this year as legitimate NHL top 6 that aren't now legitimate NHL top 6 difference makers.
None of them.
None of them. How does that work? And that's what the Bruins have to have that.
The worst signing of the offseason was Tanner Jeannot. Awful signing.
So much money.
But then you sign a bunch of these other random role player depth guys. Do you expect to fill these ridiculous spots in your lineup? Like Mikey Eyssimont. He's okay.
Well, he's just not a guy you can go to war with. And
no,
he's a fringe guy, recall guy.
Yeah.
Right.
And
they got a lot of those.
They have so many of these guys who you look at and think their fourth line is horrible. Their third line is god awful. Their second line is most teams' third lines with Casey Middlestat, who's a Green Jacket winner.
Yeah. They have so many guys like if you look, Mikey Eyssimont, Jeannot, Kostelic, Corrali, Minton, Middlestat's a different player, but these are more fringy than you want them to be.
This team screams like those garbage Oilers teams.
The Ryan Jones,
the Taylor Hall era teams,
right?
Yeah, where you had Ryan Jones playing way above his ceiling. You had, you had David Perron come in for 1 year.
Right.
That's your Victor Arvidsson,
Leonard Petrell.
This is a really, really bad team.
I think so. And I was surprised that Elliot said that, but I think we sometimes stare at stuff long enough in the offseason that we begin to believe, things that weren't true at the beginning of the offseason because we're bored. Maybe that's it. All right, 12:56. We did pretty well for time after that. Boys, what happened at the beginning of the show? Can we review that a little bit? The YouTube thing, it went a little sideways. We were talking over each other. Would we give ourselves an A+ on that first segment? Would we?
I give us an A+ for entertainment.
Sure.
You want us to revisit something where we were off topic right from the jump for 6 minutes?
Well, I felt like one of you was a little defensive. Do we want to talk about how we feel about that segment?
We're men. We don't talk about how we feel.
But I don't want you getting nosebleeds next hour.
Oh, listen, on this show, we chew tobacco and we skin bucks and we don't talk about our feelings.
All right. We're no feelings, none of the time. On the way in hour 2, Daniel Nugent-Bowman will join us. And of course, we'll have lots of your comments, both from the YouTube channel and the comments section. Lowdown with Lowetide on Sports 1440 and YouTube. Time for an update with Declan Krueger.
This is the Sports 1440 update.
Brought to you by Papa John's. It is Terrific Tuesday. Get 40% off any regular price pizza. Use the code word 40Tuesday at the start of each pizza order at papajohns.ca. NHL season starts tonight. 3 games in action. Chicago and Florida. Puck drop at 3. Pittsburgh and New York. The Rangers, that is, at 6. And Colorado in LA for the late game. That one at 8:30. MLB playoffs roll on today. Mariners and Tigers in game 3 of the ALDS. That one tied 1-1. At 2:08, Gilbert and Flaherty on the mound in that one. Then just after 6, we're going to see the Blue Jays in New York to take on the Yankees. Game 3 of the ALDS there, with the Blue Jays leading 2-0, and it's going to be Bieber and Rodon on the mound. News around the sporting world as The Edmonton Oilers have placed forward Zach Hyman on LTIR and recalled forward David Tomasek from the Bakersfield Condors. Mike Howard will play tomorrow, but can't be recalled until 3 p.m. The Edmonton Elks have signed running back Justin Rankin to a contract extension through the 2027 season, and the Cincinnati Bengals have traded for Joe Flacco from the Cleveland Browns. I'm Declan Krueger. This has been a Sports 1440 update.
Stingray Radio Station. CKJR. Broadcasts from West Edmonton Mall and Wetaskiwin.
Download the free Stingray music app and listen wherever you go.
Weekly NFL giveaways, drink specials, huge screen TVs. The hits keep coming at First Round, Edmonton's NFL headquarters. Watch NFL football at First Round and you could win a trip to your favorite NFL city for a regular season game next season. Catch NFL action Thursday nights, all day Sunday, starting with the Pro Bowl brunch from 10:30 to 2. Then Monday night with half-price boneless wings after 6 p.m. First Round, burgers, beer, sports. Downtown and Bourbon Street, West Edmonton Mall.
For supplements verified clean and non-GMO, look for the Ishura symbol at Vitality Health Foods on products like Regenerlife NMN Surge, a healthy aging product used to rejuvenate cellular health. Shop with confidence at Vitality Health Foods, where customer appreciation is the first Tuesday and Wednesday of every month.
At Fountain Tire, get up to 25% off select tires, up to $125 off a set of 4 select Goodyear tires, and $50 off $150 service until October 18th. Restrictions apply. Book today. Fountain Tire. We're on this road together, Canada.
Dennis here from Weiss Johnson, along with my brother Mark.
Hi there.
My bro is the go-to for all our tough installs.
I do all the hard work. He gets all the glory. Mister, I'm on the radio.
Hey, we can't all be famous, but seriously, Mark's the best. And he's here if you're looking to add a legal basement suite in your home.
We install tons of furnace systems for folks wanting basement suites. It helps to subsidize their mortgages.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
Obviously.
Weiss Johnson, your legal suite heating system experts.
Visit weiss-johnson.com today.
Here's the Lowdown with Lowetide on Sports 1440.
Presented by Wolf GMC Buick. We're making it easy. WolfGMCBuick.com.
$14.40 for Wolf GMC Buick, family owned and community driven. We're making it easy. Visit WolfGMCBuick.com. We're mere hours away from the Toronto Blue Jays and the chance to end the New York Yankees season in the Bronx. Looking forward to that. And then Detroit is this afternoon, right? They're playing this afternoon.
Yes.
In Motown against Seattle. I picked Seattle and to make it to the World Series and win the World Series over Los Angeles, but I wanted Milwaukee to make it. We'll see. Milwaukee looks good, I have to say.
This could be just the year of the Cinderella runs.
Yeah, and it was kind of different shades of equal, so it might make sense, right?
Like, how crazy would that be if the two Cinderellas and the Brewers and the Jays make the World Series?
And how do you if because the Jays are on one of those Cinderella runs, because a year ago they were given up for dead. They have made changes. This young Savage guy is brilliant. Gausman is pitching really well. If Bieber pitches well today, you'd have to be really confident going into the LCS, no matter who you face.
Exactly right.
Yeah.
You've got the pitching, the starting pitching at least. Like your three guys who you're relying on the most have been. Oh, we'll see with Bieber tonight. But Gausman was awesome. You know he's up to the moment. I mean, you were scared a little bit of the rookie and Trey Savage, and he came out and was unbelievable, unhittable.
Yeah.
Even though he was tipping pitches, they still couldn't touch him. And then you had, and then you got Shane Bieber. Like, I expect good things out of Shane Bieber today. The only thing that still scares me a little bit is that bullpen.
Yeah.
Because I think they've shown that they can be scary at times.
And the starters that they've clipped from the rotation are not confidence builders in the bullpen, I don't think.
No.
You know,
the only guys I truly trust in that bullpen is I do trust Sir Anthony Dominguez.
Mm-hmm.
even though he has been
erratic.
Erratic.
Control's an issue at times.
And the Yankees are stealing the splitter grip. They can he keeps showing the grip of his splitter to second base. So Aaron Judge, if you paid attention when he was on the mound and Aaron Judge was at second, he kept tapping his helmet, being like, this is the sign for the Yankees with splitter.
Yeah.
Because they could see it in his glove. So they got to figure that out. But I trust him. I don't trust Jeff Hoffman whatsoever still. They switched out. They didn't trade, but they switched out closers with Philadelphia. Did they get the better or the worst end of that deal? Or was it a wash? Wash. Both equally terrible.
Yeah, they weren't good.
I think Louis Varland is the biggest, most important reliever in that pen, though, right now.
Yeah.
Because he's the guy who needs to bridge the gap.
Eddie Cheddar says, good day, gents. Where's Kate to defend her Detroit Red Wings against Donnie P railing against them? Well, I saw her not long ago, and she's in fine spirits, and I'm sure she would defend her Detroit Red Wings vigorously at this point in time. And remind everybody that she, unlike the four of us, is in a hockey league every week. So there is that.
And she gets exercise.
No.
Unlike us.
Well, I mean, we sit a lot, but we also sit a lot. So it kind of balances out. I wonder about, do we have enough people on YouTube now? Did we tweet it out? Are people happy now? Are we losing audience because we didn't tweet it out?
We got 45 concurrent viewers right now.
We usually have about 100.
Yeah, 45.
We have
usually.
Okay.
we have people chiming on the YouTube chat.
All right. Well, that's what we want to build this thing, right?
Everybody is poo-pooing all over Josh's Flames.
Well, and as they should.
As they right.
Do you think they'll be able to afford a decent uniform and logo soon?
No.
Every year the sea gets bigger and they get worse.
I think you're going to see they're pouring all that money into a new arena, right?
Yeah.
So I think they're going to be arena broke.
Which always reflects poorly on the team. The team ends up sucking.
And I mean, you look at that roster and you look at that franchise as a whole. No, they're not going to be any good.
Denocracy says, anybody else find it funny that Declan was pumped to bring in Hi, My Name Is to the show and now he regrets it so much? Haha. That's kind of true. He was really excited about it.
I like...
Stole the name from somebody and
from a
was
way
really
bigger
high. Now it's a
program.
chore for him. You can tell. It's like he goes, oh God, it's Tuesday. It sort of
Well,
deflates his day. I feel bad for him.
I thought it would be a fun thing we could all do together, kind of like Sunday night dinner, except it was Tuesdays at 1:40.
And it turned into us just being mean to you.
Yeah, like that's why I don't really like it. Like I could be like, if you're gonna give me a segment every day, which very appreciative of, by the way. Love you for that.
Yeah.
I'd rather just talk about, football or basketball than getting yelled at for bad clues. But hey, I made my bed. I'll lie.
Well, we're like that. We're kind of cruel. We gave Josh a nosebleed today, and we haven't made Sam feel bad about his new teeth yet. Do you look a little bit like a member of the Bee Gees? Do you have a lot of teeth?
Only missing one, so most of them are.
But they're
all in.
high teeth, right? Like they're tall teeth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Lowetide, do you ever worry this will come back to bite you and that the serfs will rise and take over the bourgeoisie?
Look, I'm at an age now where if I end up being Mussolini, it's okay. I've enjoyed my life, and I have great self-awareness. I know exactly how important I am, and that's why I'm always happy when the locks haven't changed when I get to the radio station. Oil come out firing on all cylinders tomorrow. Well, you might hope so, but they've been sucktastic the last two opening nights, like really bad. Was it Winnipeg and then Calgary? I can't remember who.
They got dummied by Winnipeg last year.
Yeah, just like smoking.
It was Canucks the year before, wasn't it?
Well, you're right. It was. Rick Tocchet used to come in here in preseason, and there'd be blood coming out of his mouth. He'd been, biting his lip so hard, getting ready to beat this team. I think Tocchet had the right attitude about playing the Oilers. You go in there to smash mouth, and Florida certainly did that.
I think the more pressure you put on them, the more likely. This is the same for any team, but the more likely they are to make mistakes. And there's certain Oilers defensemen that don't handle the pressure as well. And you've seen the Canucks had success with that, and they usually found a way to outwork the Oilers.
You know, when McT was coach, he always preferred button-down defensive guys. His favorite players were two-way types like Sean Horkoff and Fernando Pisani. But he had a defenseman who was complete chaos. Marc-Andre Bergeron was his name. And he played Bergeron a lot. And the reason he did, I'm convinced, is Bergeron made mistakes, but he recovered so quickly from the mistakes. And I love Evan Bouchard as a player, and I will defend him to the end of time. And I was the one saying he should be signed even if it was $10 million. And I will defend that because I think he's absolutely worth it. But I wish he had a little of Marc-Andre Bergeron, because when Bouchard makes a mistake, he's like, oh my God, that's a mistake. And you can't think that way. You need to go fix it, you know, and he's just a little bit of a delay there. And I love Bouchard as a player, but if he can improve that, you know, he doesn't have to be a great player. He's already a great player. But that's one thing that you see sometimes in a player like Bergeron, who was not a great player, but because he made so many mistakes, he was able to recover from it maybe more quickly because it was, you know, part of the game that he brought to the ice, and he understood that, you know, he had to recover quickly. And I do know he was part of the goaltending schmozzle and Dwayne Rollison. I do understand that. I do remember that. But as a player, he had certain level of ability. If you missed it, the Edmonton Oilers roster for the opener is done, but it will receive a tweak. The roster goes like this: Leon Draisaitl, Trent Frederick, James Hamblin, Adam Henrique, Kasperi Kapanen, Curtis Lazar, Andrew Mangiapane, Connor McDavid, Ryan Nugent-Hopkins, Noah Philp, Vasily Podkolzin, Matthew Savoy, Evan Bouchard, Matthias Ekholm, Ty Emberson, Brett Kulak, Darnell Nurse, Alec Regula, Torrey Stetcher, Jake Wallman, goalies Pickard and Stewart. Now that has changed already. Janmark was on IR, Hyman on LTIR. David Tomasic has been recalled, and Ike Howard will be at 3:00 today, as per tweets by our own Jason Greger. Wondering about that, I thought I would put that to bed for you. Oilers have been sick for a few weeks. Yeah, I understand that, but it's the regular season starting tomorrow night, and getting blown out against your provincial rivals, I don't think is an option. They have to show up. This would be 3 bad opening nights in a row. And, you know, they not only don't show up for opening night, often they don't show up for first periods of games. These are things they could stop and improve upon.
Absolutely. They can improve upon a lot of different things from last season's regular season.
Yeah.
Like last year, I think we'd be in agreement, Todd, and say they really weren't that good. Like, they were
slow.
I know where they finished in the regular season. I know they had over 100 points. I know they were close to 50 wins, but they really were quite underwhelming in the regular season. Like, there's a lot to build from there.
There was a sense last year, well, we're going to give everybody their rest because we're going to cruise control. And the problem with that is that you can cruise control your way right off the map in terms of the league, because everybody's trying to win. And I felt like last year the Oilers were lollygagging a little bit at times during the year, just my opinion. But
I thought they only really hit their stride for that. Was it just before or just after Christmas? I think it was just before Christmas, where they were the best team in the league. They looked unbelievable. And then that just kind of faded away after Christmas. And even before Christmas, they came out of the gate slow, and then they got hot. They stayed hot for a few weeks. And then they just were kind of okay.
Yeah.
Relative to expectations, I thought they were pretty underwhelming last season.
Triple Crown says Flames won't make playoffs. I don't think we predicted. Somebody did predict they'd make it, but it was kind of as an outlier. But they're good. Like they're a good team, but good teams are going to miss the playoffs, especially in the West.
Josh and I both had the Flames as our second wild card
But
team.
does Josh count? Like he is a Flames fan.
Well, it might have been a bit of a homer pick, but I think he was still. Listen, I don't think I won't speak for Josh. I don't think the Flames are a locked in, bona fide, no questions asked top 3 in the Pacific playoff team. But could I see them sneaking in as the second wild card team on the back of really stellar goaltending and good coaching? Yes, I could.
Yeah, I mean, a little bit of homer bias, obviously, but also like, hey, Dustin Wolf, if he can have similar numbers, I think there's lots of players that are going to see an uptick in numbers a little bit this year. Matt Coronado, Connor Zary, Nazem Kadri, if he can have a relatively similar season to last year, I like their odds.
If they can just be not fourth last in the NHL in goals, they can be a playoff team.
There are 8 teams 29 and older on average in the NHL this year. You want to hear who they are?
Yes, I do.
Oldest team is Los Angeles Kings, followed by Vegas, Winnipeg, Florida, Pittsburgh, Edmonton, Islanders, Toronto. Youngest teams, no surprises, Montreal, Buffalo, Chicago, Philly, Columbus, and then the Calgary Flames.
Most of the young teams are bad.
Yeah. As is the way.
Makes sense. Would you be, like, other than the Blackhawks and Sharks, would you really be that surprised if any of the other Western teams made it? I'll throw in Kraken too, because I don't think they.
You know what? You make a good point. I think that's a fair thing to say. I think there's a changing of the guard happening, not with the Oilers and not with Vegas, but in the Pacific Division. I think LA took a step back. That's just my opinion. And I think Vancouver's trying to figure some stuff out, and they got a problem baby on defense to sign. And I think Calgary is coming. I think Anaheim is coming. But I do think that some of the teams that have been there for a while now are going to have a hard time, i.e. LA. And this McDavid deal doesn't improve the team for right now. So they've got some question marks. So the Oilers might lose some games that we think they're going to win on the basis of some youth and inexperience. Regula is not terribly experienced. They've got 2 young players up front who are going to play in somewhat feature roles. Noah Philp is going to be counted on in a way that he wasn't counted on before.
Like, I view the West as a whole, whether it's the Central or the Pacific, there's really only 2 freebies in the Sharks and the Blackhawks. Like, those are going to be the 2 worst teams by far, in my opinion, in the NHL this season. And then you look at the rest and you're kind of like, there's no freebie here, especially in the Central. Like, the only team that I am kind of out on is the Predators.
Well, I don't know about the Predator. I don't know, because they fooled a lot of people.
They did.
And they still look ghastly.
Yes. They could bounce back, though. Like, there's still talent on that roster to a point where if they were to bounce back and come back into a playoff spot, I wouldn't be stunned. I'd be surprised, but I wouldn't be stunned.
We'll take a break and go to Donovan or Daniel Nugent-Bowman in a second. But are we at a point in this year, at some point in time, we're going to pick a date when Steve Yzerman is fired?
Yes.
I think we're there.
It's a matter of time. Like, this is the year where if the Red Wings are junk again, because they've been junk pretty much the entirety of Steve Yzerman's tenure, eventually he's got to go. Like, eventually their ownership group, I know that Steve Yzerman is a legacy player. I know he's brought a lot to the city of Detroit, but he has made awful move after awful move after awful move. What was the last good move of Steve Yzerman's tenure? Truthfully, I'm asking you this because
I'd have to go back.
There is a Red Wings fan on the text line getting into it with me about the Jake Wallman 7x7 thing.
Well, listen, they had him at 3.4 and they had to give a draft pick away to send him to San Jose, and he was a perfectly good hockey player.
I understand that Jake Wallman wasn't that great down the stretch in Detroit, and that led him to being a healthy scratch at times. But have you ever thought about the fact that maybe you shouldn't be playing a number 4 defenseman as your number 2 defenseman, and sometimes they look bad when they're elevated into a role that they're not fit for?
And they kept some worse guys. And
they kept Justin freaking Hall.
Yeah.
And he's terrible.
All right, 117, Daniel Nugent-Bowman from The Athletic on the way. Lowdown with Lowetide on Sports 1440 and YouTube.
Edmonton Elks Campus Clash is back, presented by Innova. October 11th versus the Winnipeg Blue Bombers, featuring $18 student tickets, food and drink specials, after party at O'Byrne's Ice District, and you could win a trip to Cancun. Tickets at GoElks.com.
Fall in the savings at Wolf GMC Buick. For a very limited time, get 0% on every 2025 Buick and GMC, including the all-new Buick Envista, the Encore, Envision, and Enclave. For the GMCs, 0% on 2025s like the Sierra Half-Ton, Sierra HD, even the Yukons. Get 0% on all 2025s. Plus, get up to 84 months on the GMC Sierra Half-Ton Crew Cab. But like the Leaves, these deals won't last long. Get into Wolf GMC Buick now.
Wolf GMC Buick. We're making it easy. Monopoly Double Play is back at McDonald's. So let's practice winning. You just won 25 grand. And go.
Yes.
I said 25 grand.
That's what I'm talking about. Yeah.
Much better. Okay, now you just won a brand new Chevrolet Corvette. I think she just fainted. Impressive. Feel like a winner on pack and in-app. Monopoly Double Play is back. While supplies last, 1 in 5 chances to win game piece prizes at outset. Chances to win draw prizes depend on number of entries in each draw. Cash prizes payable by e-transfer. See rules in app.
Planning your next event? Let Loca Quality Market cater. From made-to-order meals to gourmet platters to full chef tasting experiences, they make entertaining effortless. Visit loca.ca to start planning today.
Want sports talk on the go?
You can listen to 1440 on the AM dial or stream us on your mobile device through apps like Radio Player, iHeart, and Stingray Music.
Edmonton sports fans,
turn to Sports 1440.
1440.
Whether you're a craft beer connoisseur or more of a wine aficionado, there's always something new to discover at Sherbrooke Liquor, a unique family-owned independent liquor store. The selection, incredible. The non-alcohol section is also very impressive. Sherbrooke Liquor, expert, knowledgeable staff with a passion for unique finds. More than just a liquor store, we're a community. Alberta's best, the one and only Sherbrooke Liquor. Wine, spirits, and oodles of beer. Visit SherbrookeLiquor.com.
It's happened again, and construction season is in full swing. Job delayed, money lost, and clients disappointed because your rigging failed and it wasn't inspected. Don't let this happen to you. Have your lifting slings, fittings, hoisting tools, and safety harnesses checked with Titan Supply. Titan Supply offers certified on-site and in-house rigging inspections and service, so they can repair it, replace it, and recertify it. Titan Supply in Edmonton, Grand Prairie, Red Deer, and Calgary, and at titansupply.ca. Lift, dig, haul.
I've been job hunting for months, but I don't have the skills for the jobs I want. I've been job hunting for months, and with the help of Work First Alberta, I got hired.
Work First Alberta can help you change your story. It connects job seekers with training and resources to find meaningful employment, and it can help employers find qualified candidates. Learn how you can change your story at workfirstalberta.ca. A message from the Government of Alberta.
Here's the Lowdown with Lowetide on Sports 1440.
Presented by Wolf GMC Buick. We're making it easy. WolfGMCBuick.com.
This is the Lowdown on Sports 1440 for Wolf GMC Buick. Family owned and community driven. We're making it easy. Visit WolfGMCBuick.com. Joined now by our friend Daniel Nugent-Bowman from The Athletic. Daniel, how are you?
Well, Al, do we have something to talk about today or what?
Well, the Jays, you know, I mean, you mean the yesterday. I'll be honest with you. I got up, I did my usual thing. I drove into work and I'm sitting in the parking lot and I'm listening to Kevin Carius, and he's talking about, well, it looks like there's nothing and then there's something. And it felt like it all kind of played out on Twitter as the insiders were getting more and more information. What was the experience like for you?
I had just dropped my kids off at daycare and then came home and started to hear some rumblings and some stuff on Twitter. And my shop, obviously, we've got some top insiders in Pierre LeBrun and Chris Johnston. They were kind of all over it. And I'd heard late in last week that it was a possibility that he might sign. I'd heard as like close as 50-50. And obviously things changed Monday. You should really read Chris Johnston's story about how it all came together at The Athletic. It was a very kind of unconventional morning, but that's what happens when news breaks. So you kind of hop to it, I guess.
That Johnston article is interesting simply because there was and I think maybe I certainly didn't think about it from the point of view of the McDavid side and his agent kind of, trying to identify a sweet spot where they could go in terms of how much money they could take and then the Oilers still be competitive.
Right. And I mean, you saw a byproduct of that right away with the Oilers signing Jake Wellman to that extension yesterday. That's $3.4, I think, $1 million raise, or 3.6. I can't remember which is which now, but like it's basically his salary is doubling from what he's making this year going forward for the next 7 seasons. And, that's going to eat up a little bit of that. And I mean, they're going to have to get a goaltender, whether that is Stuart Skinner with the bigger raise or it's somebody else, probably with a bigger contract than what Stuart Skinner makes right now at 2.6. So, there's 2 significant adds to the salary cap for next year already. Obviously, Vasily Podkolzin's back and hasn't raised. I mean, I think McDavid, obviously, it goes without saying, he's on the team, the organization, a real solid here, but it's for a fixed period, and for a short fixed period where, it's not a guarantee past 2028 that he'll remain an Oiler, but the window's open quite so for the next 3 seasons, and that's I think what really matters for the time being.
Daniel Nugent-Bowman, our guest from The Athletic on Sports 1440 and YouTube on the Lowdown with Lowetide. You look at the Wallman increase, it's $3.6 million. Obviously, McDavid signing for 12.5. That, lops off even more of what was expected. I mean, I imagine they thought 14 at the lowest and never dreamed 12.5. But it also, with the rising cap, it allows this team to sign some free agents as required and maybe offload some. There's still the specter of, buyouts and also no movement clauses. Do you expect that to be an issue again in the summer? Maybe the Oilers asking some players if they'd be willing to waive their no movement clauses?
Well, I mean, I just wonder who that would be. And I mean, obviously the biggest one would be Darnell Nurse. That's the big one. But, by next summer, Adam Henrique's contract's off the books. You're probably trying to replace him, given what he seems to be contributing now in a bottom 6 role. You could probably get somebody for a little bit less. You have Matthias Janmark with only 1 year left. I mean, maybe you can offload that a little bit easier if that's the route you want to go. So that's a couple examples right there. Again, Nurse is the big one. But with the cap going up, all of a sudden his $9.25 million contract, it doesn't look quite as cumbersome as it once did. Still a second pairing defenseman who plays on the penalty kill, can play in all situations. It's just not as onerous as it would have been. Just kind of see how the season plays out. It could be something that's on the table, but I don't think they want still a lot of dead money on the books. Obviously, the priority is to win, and if you can get another defenseman where maybe Nurse isn't as important to this group as he maybe is now, you do that. But I think all options are on the table for them to try to win. I think there's just so much time between now and then to really kind of put a real educated answer on that specifically. But again, with the cap going up and some of these guys, again, like Henrique, like Janmark, either out of the picture probably or easier to move in Janmark's case, it's not as big of an issue as it maybe would have been either this past offseason or the one before.
With that and dovetailing into it is Nurse is a extremely durable and healthy player. And on the left side, Matthias Ekholm is up for a renewal. He's making $6 this year. There has been talk for some time about an extension. I know there's a desire on both sides to get it done. What are you hearing? And do you think the injury issues temper the Oilers' enthusiasm, or do you think this gets done soon?
Yeah, I don't know about how soon, to be honest. I think it will get done at some point. I think they're just obviously the injury that he had last season at the end of last season was pretty substantial, and they had to sort out McDavid. Obviously they did sign Wallman and they got Olsen and stuff. So I mean, there's other kind of cap and roster priorities given those players' ages compared with Matthias Ekholm. But I think I don't think money's going to be a huge issue in terms of trying to get that deal done. As my guess is it's probably more term, given that he is 35 and will be 36 later in the season. So I think it will happen. I just think it's probably the term that's probably the biggest hold up per se right now.
So for you, it's never boring. In the time that you've been covering the Edmonton Oilers, every year is unique with some similarities. What's your sense of this team? Are they more settled this year, more mature group? Are there a little more uncertainty because of guys like Savoy and Ike Howard and even Noah Philp on the roster and Regula in his possible role? Is there enough freshness here to make this a completely different year, or is it more of the same?
Well, they haven't used that word mature yet. I missed that one. So that was a calling card of the team last year. I think there's enough freshness. There definitely is, given the roster, right? Like you talked about those two young forwards coming in Savoy and Howard, who's going to be recalled. Chris Knobloch said it is expected or will play tomorrow night against Calgary. Regula, at least for now, a bit of a wrinkle on the blue line. Tomasic coming in. There's definitely some guys here, and then Noah Philp at the bottom of the forward group. And Stan Bowman's talked a lot about the growth potential of this group, where there's a lot of guys like those ones I mentioned, and maybe throw in Todd Golson as well, that could probably be better later in the year. So I think that's it. I think this group, a lot of players have described the previous Cup final loss being heartbreaking, this one just being very much upsetting, and how quickly, McDavid, Draisaitl, Nurse, for instance, got back on the ice right away, and were kind of committed to turning the page a little bit quicker maybe than they were the previous year. So every season is a little bit different. See how things go in terms of injuries, goaltending, how the roster is going to look when DSC Mark comes back into the picture, when Zach Hyman in a month or so or whatever comes back into the picture. You're probably going to have to drop, I think, about 3 guys off the roster if those 2 guys are on. So the group could look a little bit different. And we'll see how, again, some of those young players adjust to being full-time NHLers. But I think there's some promise with this group, but it's, again, the focus is very much on this year and then the next 2, because that's clearly where this window is with this group.
Daniel, wanted to ask you about Ike Howard. He was sent down as a paper decision. He will be back up. In tracking him, I was not impressed with him in the rookie camp, but as the days have gone by, he's done more and more, and you can tell he's got real skill, not just shooting, but passing skills. I know the coaches mentioned, those improvements. Do you think this is a situation where he could be here like for 20 games to see what he's got, but the option of being sent out is still there? Or do you think there's a significant commitment to keep him here, even if he's working in maybe a part-time role and increasing his role incrementally as the year goes by?
Well, I think it's probably more that he's going to get a real runway with this group. I mean, if he's really struggling and they just can't find him the right spot, I mean, I think he'll go down. But the coaching staff has talked a lot about finding him a role, getting him on even the second power play unit, letting him kind of grow. And Stan Bowman mentioned that part of that maturation process is for it to happen at the NHL level. I think he'll get a long runway, but you never put anything, set anything in stone. 4 guys that are waivers and exams. So, it is a possibility. I do think that he'll go down at some point, but if he's not performing well, let me clarify that, and they can't find the right role for him. But again, I do think he'll get a lot of traction here to make a claim to be a full-time NHLer and to work his way up the lineup in due time.
It's a fun year for Edmonton Oilers fans. I mean, obviously the McDavid contract is a icing on the cake, but I think that 2024 Stanley Cup final loss was kind of devastating and heartbreaking, and there was a sense of maybe anger or extreme disappointment last year. The Oilers, I don't think, played their best against Florida. Felt like Florida dictated the play, and were changing the way the outlets occurred and those sorts of things. We know know about the Stuart Skinner, Calvin Pickard issue. It has not been addressed. I like what Bowman has done. They brought in a new goaltending coach. Skinner arrives more fit. He's looking to be able to make those moves across the ice quicker and more under control. What's your sense of the goaltending, though? They've got Connor Ingram in here now to play in Bakersfield. Feels like there's a little bit of movement here. May not have an impact at the NHL level for some time, but is goaltending on Bowman's radar, in your opinion, either during the year or at the deadline, or certainly a year from now in free agency?
All the above. We talked about this in terms of Stuart Skinner really getting I don't know if you want to call it a fresh start, but they're really committing to him with the new goaltending coach, trying to get him to be more consistent, have a stronger mental approach in the way that he's going about his business and performing. And we think the high end of Stuart Skinner is very good. And we've seen that, observers like myself and you and the fans of the Oilers, that at his best, he's a really good goaltender. But the problem is the dips have been too many and too extended. And so you get a guy like Connor Ingram who, didn't have a very good year last year. He's been out of the league a little bit because of some personal issues. And now they can let him kind of work his way up in the minors. He's obviously cleared minors. There's no cap charge. It's just a very kind of astute move, I would say, by Stan Bowman to not claim him on waivers and then to get him that way. And talking to people, they think that Ingram is just a very solid, square to the shooter, very composed type of goaltender that maybe doesn't have the quite the upside of Stuart Skinner when Stuart Skinner's at his best, but maybe has the potential to be more consistent. I think there's a real opportunity there for a 1B, 1A, 1B situation. And, the deadline could and certainly the offseason could cause some changes. But it's always, as we've talked about a lot of different times, it's a matter about what else is out there and how to acquire it. Goaltending such a fickle position, and if you've got a really good starter who is certainly you can say is unequivocally better than Stuart Skinner, a lot of teams aren't giving that guy up. So that's part of the equation too, and something that's obviously been, whether it's with Stan Bowman or Ken Holland before him, on their minds as they've addressed or looked at the goaltending before making any type of move.
Are you watching the Blue Jays in their run, sir?
Little bits and pieces. It just I usually don't get access to the TV very often. We've got different cartoon shows that I wouldn't normally be watching that take precedence, at least not by my preference, but by my children. So I tried to put it on a couple of nights, a couple of times there. I got through parts of it, and then I got vetoed at certain points. So I've watched a little bit here and there. I'll try to have it on today. I know obviously the Blue Jays are doing very well, and certainly a chance to make it to the championship series. They only got obviously just have to win 1 of 3, and I like those odds. So
that's why I like talking to you. That was a very honest answer, and I can relate. Believe me. All right, thanks, Daniel.
Talk to you soon now.
There you go. Daniel Nugent-Bowman from The Athletic. Oh, I remember those days. Hey, I'm sorry. Who lives in a pineapple under the sea? When you have little kids, the television is not yours. You bunch will find out someday. All right. Is he ready for because he gets kind of cranky if we are critical of him. Do you think he's ready for Hi, My Name Is?
No, I mean, look at the way he's been set up all day with the hoodie over his over his head.
Instantly defensive, about everything.
He seems like Oscar the Grouch today.
A little bit, yeah. A little edgy. So I imagine the question will be about a 1950s NBA player, is my guess.
I'm thinking he might go even deeper than that.
Oh man. Swimming?
Maybe he goes, swimming.
Highlight?
I was maybe cricket. Maybe he goes to water polo.
Oh my God. That's all I had with declinations. Hi, my name is ... Lowdown with Lowetide on Sports 1440 and YouTube.
At Fountain Tire, get up to 25% off select tires, up to $125 off a set of 4 select Goodyear tires, and $50 off a $150 service until October 18th. Restrictions apply. Book today. Fountain Tire. We're on this road together, Canada.
This hockey season, before every game, check out the pregame show with Andrew Walker on Sports 1440. It's brought to you by Titan Supply, your only source for rigging, lifting, and hauling products. Visit titansupply.ca.
Fall in the savings at Wolf GMC Buick. For a very limited time, get 0% on every 2025 Buick and GMC, including the all-new Buick Envista, the Encore, Envision, and Enclave. For the GMCs, 0% on 2025s like the Sierra Half-Ton, Sierra HD, even the Yukons. Get 0% on all 2025s. Plus, get up to 84 months on the GMC Sierra Half-Ton Crew Cab. But like the Leaves, these deals won't last long. Get into Wolf GMC Buick now.
Wolf GMC Buick. We're making it easy.
Carve out for a cause at the Jason Krueger Pizza Pig Out, presented by GS Construction. Thursday, November 6th at the Canadian Ice House, indulge in unlimited pizza from amazing local pizzerias while you help raise some dough for kids' sport. Then vote for your favorite slice to help crown the People's Choice Award winners. Tickets to join Edmonton's biggest and best adult pizza party are just $30. Head to JasonKruegerPizzaPigout.com for more details and to buy tickets.
Hey everybody, it's Jason Strudling. How would you like to join me and the superstars of hockey on an exotic holiday? Join us on a 7-night cruise through the Mexican Riviera, leaving from Los Angeles and including Cabo, Mazatlan, Puerto Vallarta, and more. While we relax and cruise the tropical waters, you can attend an intimate meet and greet with legends like Bill Ranford, Fernando Pisani, Kelly Buckberger, Ron Lowe, Gene Principe, Jack Michaels, Louis DeBrusque, and more. There's still time to get in on every hockey fan's dream cruise. Book now and save $500 per couple. The Edmonton Hockey Legends Cruise. Price start at just $23.99. Part of the proceeds support the Ben Stelter Foundation and Kids with Cancer.
Visit cast.tours/Edmonton. Call 1-833-347-7678. Call now to book and save $200 when you mention promo code Stingray Radio. That's Cast Tours. CASTTOURS. 1-833-347-7678.
My name is...
Here's the Lowdown with Lowetide on Sports 1440.
Presented by Wolf GMC Buick. We're making it easy. WolfGMCBuick.com.
Did you play the intro? Lowdown with Lowetide on Sports 1440 for Wolf GMC Buick. Check them out at wolfgmcbuick.com. 1:40, time for Declinations. Presented by Elks Nation. 2 weekly podcasts with Eddie Steele and Declan Krueger, breaking down the green and gold, the most in-depth Double E football coverage on YouTube and anywhere you get your podcast. We should have Eddie Steele and this Declan Krueger guy on as guests on the show one day.
Yeah, I know Eddie Steele. I mean, Double E legend.
Great guy.
Great guy. Great football
Great
player.
winner. Yeah.
But this Declan guy.
Yeah. He's kind of out there. You know. I mean, it's sort of like, I mean, is he a sports guy or a comedian? You know.
Or is he a poker player with those sunglasses?
Well, that could be. His sunglass look is a little all over the place, but I do like these. This is sort of the international man of mystery. And with the hoodie, it's, you know, like maybe he's in Goodfellas and they're going to open the trunk out in the middle of the wilderness. Not really sure.
Or maybe he is the Dos Equis man, the most interesting man in the world.
That's good. I think he would say that. Declan joins us now to do Declinations. Hi, my name is, and do you have it?
Yeah, this one comes in from listener Curtis Foss, aka Bucky. Appreciate it greatly.
Thank you,
Emailed
Bucky.
it in. Retired CFL player.
Oh, okay. All right. Okay.
Clue number 1. I am a former first-round pick that was drafted as a dual threat player. So I was drafted at 2 positions.
Hi, my name is Trey Ford.
Your name is not Trey Ford.
Wow. Dual threat, hey? Can't be many of those, but honestly, I've got no clue. Just give me the next clue.
Clue number 2. I spent my entire career with the same team.
Oh, wow. Hi, my name is Garney Henley.
Ooh, your name is not Garney Henley.
Oh boy. So I would presume that if he was a dual threat, I'm assuming it's like a corner receiver.
I would say that's
because
fair.
that's usually how they would go.
Yeah, unless this is the 50s, and I don't remember when the CFL draft started.
I'm going to assume a guy who's drafted as a corner receiver, played on only one team. Man, I'm just going to escape the dead air. Let's just clue 3.
Clue number 3. I am a 3-time Grey Cup champion and a 2-time Grey Cup Most Valuable Canadian winner.
Hi, my name is Terry Evanson.
Ah, your name is not.
This is sure how you paint me into a corner.
I was escaping the dead air.
Yeah.
Clue number 4. Sorry, do you actually have a guess?
No, God, no.
Okay.
I just keep going.
Clue number 4. I am a 4-time winner of the top scorer in the West Division Dave Dryberg Trophy. And I am a CFL Hall of Famer.
Say that. Will you say that again?
Yes, I am a 4-time winner of the top scorer in the West Division Trophy. It's called the Dave Dryberg Trophy. And then I am a CFL Hall of Famer.
I'm just going to guess Milt Stiegel.
It's not Milt Stiegel, but...
Hi, my name is Jerry Foley.
Your name is not Jerry Foley. Clue number 5. I scored 2 touchdowns in my career.
Oh, wow.
They were in my first game and my last game.
Oh, that's actually quite a nice story there.
But he led the league, so he's a kicker. A kicker and a defensive player. Did he not lead the league in West in scoring?
He did, yep.
And then he has 2 touchdowns in his career.
Yep.
So he's a kicker.
I am going to guess so, yeah. Which I may or may not have been paying attention on the last clue.
Hi, my name is Jerry James.
Ah, your name is not Jerry James.
I still got absolutely nothing.
Clue number 6. I have the most rouges in league history with 309.
Hi, my name is Hank Alisic.
Ah, your name is not Hank Alisic. And the final...
I got nothing.
Yeah, sorry. The final clue. I have the most games played and the most points scored CFL history.
I'd have a better chance of getting Pontus Aberg right now.
I don't remember who has the record for the most. I'm just trying to think here. It's not Ridgway. It's not Cameron. It's not Pisaglia. It's not. Whoa.
Do you want a little bonus clue?
Sure.
His career was 1976 to 2000.
Wow.
Hi, my name is Louis Pisaglia.
Louis Pisaglia.
God, that was should have had been on that a long time ago. But it was a hard one, man. I didn't think about kicker till late.
You know what's funny? When Curtis emailed this in, he said LT should get this by hint 3. Donovan will have no idea.
Absolutely correct. My most embarrassing performance.
It was well before your time. Well,
Oh
before
yeah,
your
no,
time.
and also like, here's the thing. While Pasaglia was doing his thing, Dave Cutler was doing his. So it's not like, even if we knew kicker and we didn't get kicker until later, there were still lots of options.
Yeah,
Pasaglia did play a long time.
The two positions he was drafted at, by the way, was kicker and wide receiver.
Damn, eh? Like he was a great. I remember he had a mustache. Not that that has anything to do with.
He had a great mustache though.
No. But he played a long time, and he was a great kicker. He was.
I would just like to say, giving a kicker in Hi, My Name is diabolical.
Well, thank you for that.
That is diabolical.
We didn't even think of that because we thought fair play wouldn't do that, right?
The last thing on my mind as I entered the segment and heard retired CFL player was kicker.
But he played two positions, forward, defense and offense. You never think of a kicker when you're talking about that.
No, hence why I went wide receiver corner, because that's usually, if you're going to dual threat it, you're going to be a wide receiver in a corner because they're somewhat similar.
This is why we get mad at him, and that's why he gets defensive, but he did it again.
What defensive position did he play?
He didn't. He was a wide receiver and a kicker.
Oh, he played.
So he's both offensive. They're both offensive positions. And we didn't get that clue until he said, I only had 3 touchdowns, but I led the Western Division.
But then you were saying like he was a defensive player.
Well,
so
I
I was
thought he
thinking
was-
I was thinking, did this guy have 2 pick sixes in his career?
That's what I thought. But he clearly, scored a touchdown the old-fashioned way.
So he was basically a horrific wide receiver.
Well,
he didn't really play that much wide receiver, as it turned
He was
out.
a-
Like he was
out of
truly a
SFU? Where
kicker.
was he out of?
He was out of FSU.
Yeah,
He
yeah.
was,
Okay. Simon Fraser's had some great players come out of there. Well, anyway, we're mad at you, but I'm glad I got it.
Not mad at Declan.
Weren't even my clues.
Was it Curtis?
It was Curtis.
I'm sorry, Curtis. That was diabolical.
No, I'm mad at Declan.
Oh.
Sean Fleming, Dave Cutler. These are all things that I thought of.
Only 3 people got it, which I think is our. I
Record.
think it's the least that have ever.
I think that's
and I
true.
think only 2 people got it on their first.
You know who
guess.
would have gotten it would be Brian Hall.
Oh,
because he said Louis Pasaglia 10 million times. And I always said it was Pasaglia. So did Don Whitman and all the guys that made the calls. But Halsey, I think he had it right. But
I would have had an easier time getting Joe Schmo, who played 4 games in the NHL.
by the way, I would like credit. I believe every one of the names that I gave was an actual CFL player. I might have gotten
That's the standard.
I might have named one of the guitarists in Mott the Hoople by accident, but the rest were definitely CFL players. My cranium hurts now. My memory banks are like, what the hell right now?
Kickers, whether it's NFL or CFL, are the hardest. They're just the most forgettable players.
Well,
they're not real football players.
Yeah, they're not.
Even when their names are like Zenon and Andrusician, you don't remember them really. You're
They're-
like, oh yeah, that guy.
Like, I can confidently say, I don't know, in the next 10 years, the only current kicker that I'm going to truly remember will probably be Young Wei Koo, because you can think of his name, you can look at the way it's spelled, and you just think of pronouncing it the way it's spelled, and it's a funny thing. And then you get, obviously, the man who was a bad man, who played for the Ravens.
Even the guy.
We're going to remember Brandon Aubrey, too, with the
No.
trajectory he's on.
Even the guy who Manning said, Canadian kicker who ran his mouth. What was his name?
I don't remember kickers. They're just-
Vinatieri, Gostowski, those are the only guys.
Vinatieri is the only other guy that you remember. They're just so forgettable.
Well, I remember Ray Guy because he was drafted. He's a punter, and he was drafted in the first round. And he was a Raider for a long time. I think he went to the Hall of Fame.
There's a kicker to win NFL MVP.
No.
You guys know that?
I did not know that.
George Blanda?
No, it was Mark Mosey. Oh, wide receiver has never won, but Mark Mosey won. I think it was either like 82 or 83.
Must have been a bad year for all football players.
So apparently everyone on the text line is substantially better at remembering kickers than we are.
I don't I remember them, but I don't like CFL kickers usually play for more than one team. Like, honestly, Cutler, Bisaglia, did Bob Cameron play for anybody else? And I don't remember anything down east, honest to God. I remembered Garney Henley, though, and I would like credit for that. He did play two ways. He played offense and defense. He may not have been Canadian, but he did that. As always, I have nothing prepared for the post.
What do you most, other than the baseball, if you're tuning into a hockey game, what are you tuning into tonight?
What are the games again?
You got Kings and an Avalanche. You've got Blackhawks, Panthers, and then you have Rangers and Penguins.
Okay, well, Sydney and Makar are both interesting to me, so I would watch those two games. And then obviously the baseball is going to be front and center.
Yeah, I'm watching the baseball 100%, but I will tune into. I had my fantasy draft last night for fantasy hockey, of course.
Who'd you pick?
I had the third pick, so I got Leon Draisaitl. We're gonna be rooting for that guy all year.
Nice.
And then
who'd you get in round 2 and 3?
I have Rasmus Dahlin, and I have not a me type of player usually in fantasy, but I have Philip Forsberg as my third round pick. I like Philip Forsberg. He's just not my 12-team league. He's just never my type of player for fantasy. I usually look for upside, and I usually look for guys on good teams.
But you need those guys, those oatmeal guys. Pardon the usage of oatmeal, Declan. But they kind of mush the team together, right? Like you can a certain number of goals and assists, and you can count on that.
He hits, he shoots. Forsberg's a good player, and everybody on the text line. I don't know who's spelling it right, but there's a lot of different spellings for Mike Vanderjagt.
Oh, right, that's who it was. Like that, Vanderjat, I believe.
I don't know, but there's some autocorrect that absolutely butchered his name.
All right, well, that was fun. That was a very enjoyable Hi, My Name Is. Thanks so much for tuning in. Tomorrow, we'll be joined by Kevin McCurdy, Jason Gregor just around the corner with the latest on Connor McDavid, the Edmonton Oilers roster movement, and more. Thanks so much for tuning into the Lowdown. Please enjoy your day.
This is a Sports 1440 update.
Brought to you by Loca Quality Market. Your fridge just got an upgrade. Over 200 chef-prepared gourmet meals waiting at Loca Quality Market. Shop local at loca.ca. NHL season starting tonight. 3 games on the schedule. Blackhawks and Panthers at 3 p.m. Penguins and Rangers at 6. And the Avs will be in LA to take on the Kings at 8:30. In the MLB, the Mariners and Tigers game currently delayed in the top of the first. That one tied 0-0, and that series tied 1-1. Jays and Yankees will go just after 6 with Bieber and Rodon on the mound for the clubs. In the sporting world, the Oilers have placed forward Zach Hyman on LTIR and recalled forward David Tomasek from the Bakersfield Condors. Ike Howard can't be recalled until 3 p.m. And the Edmonton Elks have signed running back Justin Rankin to a contract extension through the 2027 season. And the Cincinnati Bengals have traded for Joe Flacco from the Cleveland Browns. I'm Declan Krueger. Up next is the Jason Gregor Show. This has been a Sports 1440 update.